Prayers in Loving Memory, Christmas 2017, Chapel by the Sea. In loving memory of her parents Lee and Peg Oliver from Nancy and Chip Roach. In loving memory of his parents Charlie and Peggy Roach from Chip and Nancy Roach. In loving memory of Helen and Axel Campbell and Mary and Vern Schubert from Donna and John Schubert. In loving memory of Ernie Eschert from Joan Eschert. In loving memory of her parents Cornelius and Erna Yonkers from Vera Yonkers. In the loving memory of Sister Mercedes from Jake, Teresa, and Andrea Miller. In loving memory of Patty and Bob Kreppen from Katie and Eric Riemenschneider and their children Clay, Kyle, and Reese. In loving memory of their parents Maria and George and Ruth and Al from Lynn and George Campion. In loving memory of John Slater, whose spirit of Christmas comes alive each year with the lights and decorations at the chapel, from Pat Slater. In loving memory of Mr. and Mrs. Elliott Farmer and Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Stegman, from Bud and Sandy Farmer. In loving memory of Peter Sanger, from Candy Sanger. In honor of Joan and Parker Calkin, from Melissa and Mark Calkin. In loving memory of Pat and Bill Bonnell, from Lynn and John Fielding. In loving memory of Nola and Peter Ford and Glenn and Emily Gibb, from Jim and Helen Gibb. In loving memory of Peter and Agnes Libanade, from Tom and Myrnie Libanade. In loving memory of James and Marion Sears, from Tom and Myrnie Libanade. In loving memory of Grove Ely and George Downing, from Jean Ely. In loving memory of Lorraine Katana, from Frank, Lori, Jason, Frankie, Gabby, Luke, Benny, Kate, and Lorraine. In loving memory of Harriet Stringer Chapman, from Ginny and Ed Stringer. In loving memory of her mother, Lena Bissett, from Stephanie Bissett. In loving memory of Joe and Margie Nolbach, from Kathy Nolbach and Terry Isha. In loving memory of Ken Markle, Jan Markle, and Elizabeth Rauschenberger, from Tom and Diane Markle. In loving memory of Marty Conroy, from Joan Conroy. In loving memory of George Bulzan, from Teresa, Jake, and Andrea Miller. In loving memory of their dear friend Bub Sukhan, from Marjorie and Ed Griffin. In celebration of their granddaughter Harley Struble, from Dan and Ruthie Struble. In celebration of the lives of Francis and Lillian Small, from Mike and Margie Bennett. In celebration of the life of Albert DeWolf, from Mike and Margie Bennett. In celebration of Jane Williams Narrigan, from the Herter family. In celebration of Dan Dewey William, from the Hunter family. In celebration of William Card Herter, from the Herter family. In loving memory of Connie and Ernie Stanton and Bill and Bumpy Stevenson, from Warren and Shirley Stanton. In loving memory of Gertrude and Richard Bergen, from Kay Tresp. In loving memory of Tom Martin, Genevieve and Winifred Ehlers, Ruth McCartney Hauk, Joe McCartney and Abner Hood Hauk, from Sandy McCartney Ehlers and family. In loving memory of Carrie Mondale and Donald Armstrong, from Mike and Tarrant Leonard. In loving memory of Lucas Lee Beggs, from John and Denise Beggs. In memory of Joseph D. O'Brien III, from the O'Brien family. In memory of Don Sneed, thanks for creating a lifetime of happy family memories. In memory of Allison Hagerup, from the Stewart family. In memory of William Hagerup, from the Stewart family. In memory of Dolores Ropestorff, from the Ropestorff family. In memory of Marty Ropestorff, from the Ropestorff family. In loving memory of Russell Paul Valentine, from the Valentine and Williams families. In memory of our loving mother and grandmother, Annie Louise Ritter, with love from Kurt, Jen, Meredith, and Mark. In loving memory of Jan Vea, from all the Chapel family. In loving memory of Don Wildman, from Anne Marie Wildman. In loving memory of her mother, Retha Bruhard, and brother Daryl Bruhard, from Debbie Rains. In memory of his parents, Liz and Agnes McDonald, from Zeke and Ashlyn. In memory of their parents, Ray and Nancy Axton, from Barbara Axton.